headship. Give me 6 minutes and 21 seconds. It took place at Calvary, which represents the skull, which represents headship. 1,000 years prior, David, after he slew Goliath, stood over Goliath, took Goliath by his ponytail and chopped his head off. The Bible says he wrapped his hair in his hand and ran to the hill that had no name. Josephus said before Goliath, it had no name. But after Goliath, it had a name. Y'all, some of y'all missed it. Before Goliath, it had no name. After Goliath, it had a name. So he held Goliath's head over the mouth. The Bible says that King Saul looked and nodded. And when King Saul looked and nodded, they said, Saul has killed his thousands. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me. But David has killed his tens of thousands. And then they renamed the city in part to the city of David. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me. And the reason why Jesus is a son of David is because David laid the foundation at Calvary by burying Goliath's head. And some of y'all don't read your Bibles up there, please. Oh, Jesus. Can I talk in here? We got the victory. I wish I had about 8 of you that can stand up on your feet, that can testify that you couldn't stretch those hands. If it was not for Calvary, you would have never made it through. If it was not for Calvary, at the cross, where I first saw the light, it was by faith that I received my sight. And now, grab your neighbor and say, and now, I am happy all the way. I've got the victory. Grab your neighbor and say, I don't care how the giant is dressed. Look at your neighbor and say, I don't care how the giant is dressed. I don't care how tall the giant is. I don't care what. Look your neighbor in the eye and say, you got the victory. Stand to your feet and say, you got the victory. 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 Look somebody in the eye, because I'm going to tell you what happened. First lady looked me in the eye. Then I looked First Lady in her eye. And the first thing she said is, won't be no death talk in this room. First thing you got to do is get people who don't know what they're talking about out of the room. Touch your neighbor and say, get them out of the room. You might have a PhD in chemistry, but you don't know nothing about theology. You might have a PhD in mathematics, but you don't know nothing about Jesus. First thing you got to do when you're sick is get everybody out of the room that don't know nothing about healing. See, because I sat up and I listened to educated fools. Educated fools make a diagnosis on how a situation looks. But I want to tell you what the victorious do. Come on, hold your hand like this and say, I am. Come on, hold like this, say, I am victorious. Say, I am victorious.